Welcome to the Stacked Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
We are back with another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast, where we catch you up on all the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past 7 days. As we keep saying every episode and every week, the industry is not short on excitement and announcements, with this past 7 days bringing just a huge amount of releases as per usual, keeping us busy. And we're going to kick this episode off with news from the Skinny Food Co., which is who is becoming, I guess, pretty much one of our favorite functional brands out there right now. It's a UK-based brand, and they have just a massive amount of products to choose from spreads, sauces, syrups, snacks. It's just, they kill it. Baking mixes as well. And over the past couple of months, they've been just pumping out excitement, new releases, which at a rate that seems like almost non-stop. They started this month off with the return of their limited Easter-themed Easter cream skinny sauce, and then they followed that up with 2 jam flavors. And then the week before last, they announced another flavor for their Chocoholic spread, which actually is a combination of 2 flavors. And then they also announced 2 incredibly unique flavors for skinny syrup, which is their 0-calorie syrup with unicorn and mermaid, both featuring edible glitter. But the news that came in this past week is in regards to the Skinny Food Co.'s single-serving sachets. Now, these were announced and talked about in previous episodes of the podcast, and they're basically much like your disposable sachets that you get in fast food restaurants, but the Skinny Food Co. has put its functional 0-calorie to low-calorie sauces and syrups into them to make them a very convenient, or even more convenient, way to just add guilt-free, extremely low-calorie, as I said, next to 0 calories, to your food, smoothies, treats, desserts, whatever you want to do. They made these single-serving sachets available this past week after they were announced. I think it was maybe a couple months ago. And they launched the skinny syrup in 7 flavors for the sachets, and then the skinny sauce got 5, I believe. Or it might be the other way around, but instead of being able to actually purchase them individually, the brands just put one of each into a box to make it easier for you, I guess, to try. So it's a nice way for new fans to try a variety of the brand's sauces, as well as longtime fans that are very familiar with these products to, store them up and just pack them and take them wherever you want in a variety of options. But that's not all the Skinny Food Co. launched this week. They also bought a new flavor of skinny sauce, the virtually low-calorie, again, to 0-calorie sauce, called Sexy Sauce. Now, that's obviously not a very descriptive name like your usual barbecue or tomato, but the brand has confirmed what Sexy Sauce is actually meant to taste like, with a mix of tomato and paprika. So, another unique product. And as I mentioned in weeks earlier in the month, the Skinny Food Co. released mermaid and unicorn flavors. So, much like with Sexy Sauce, the Skinny Food Co. is no stranger to unique launches, creative flavors, creative products. And also this week, in addition to the single-serve sachets and Sexy Sauce, the company also launched an entirely new product, which isn't something we see from the brand that much. A lot of the time it is new flavors, such as the Sexy Sauce, or even new options like the new format options like the single-serve sachets. But the new product we saw from them this week was Teak Coffee Creamer. So the idea is very much like the sauce and the syrup being this one's actually 0-calorie additive to add to your food, specifically hot beverages. It's actually intended to be sort of like a milk alternative, but of course dairy-free, 0 sugar, and as mentioned, 0 calories. It basically gives it that creaminess and consistency that you get without anything else that comes with it. As mentioned, again, just no calories. There are 2 flavors to choose from for that product, with hazelnut and vanilla, so fitting flavors for hot beverages, which is a great idea, and another great addition to the lineup that just seems to keep on growing for the Skinny Food Co. We move from functional to the greens category, which has been just crazy busy this past month, even the month before that. In fact, for the past year, this has been a category that's just grown and grown. A lot of big names into the industry, into the category last year, and even more have come onto it these past couple months, with the latest one coming this past week in Primeval Labs. They had actually been working on this product for months and months, so it wasn't just something they decided to do recently. It's been in the works and testing for quite some time, but they finally launched it this past week, and the product's called Day to Day. And the brand has actually taken a very different approach. While a lot of these brands like Ghost and Core are taking a very premium, comprehensive approach, Primeval has done something very interesting. They've just sort of gone for a straightforward green supplement. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's pretty much what it's intended to be, though, a more cost-effective value option. You still get a good amount of fruits and greens. There's 5 grams of it in each of the 30 servings per tub. 2.5 of the greens, 2.5 of fruits, and then there's an enzyme blend to help with digestion. So it's a very straightforward. As mentioned, it is cost-effective. The brand is priced it at $34.99 on its website, but to introduce it, they're doing a buy one get one free deal. So it's essentially $17.50 each for 2 tubs, which is amazing. Amazing price point compared to likes of Core Nutritionals, Core Greens, or even Ghosts, which is at $44.99 with a regular price. So I mean, if you want, I guess, a simple greens, at least compared to what else is out there, then Primeval has a great solution and a great competitor, filling, I guess, not really a hole, but just an area of the market that we haven't really seen touched with the mountain of green supplements that have been coming onto the market as of late. As per usual, you can go on our site and read all about that Primeval Labs product. Just go to the search with Day to Day or Primeval, and you're about to find out exactly what's in it. But staying on the topic of greens, this past week we actually also got to review Core Greens. Now, if you have been following Stack, we did share a story not too long ago that Core said Core Greens was indeed going to be the best tasting green supplement on the market. And while I get very excited, I'm always torn when I hear stuff like that. I get very excited, but then I also know the industry. And there are a mountain of brands out there that make promises that they just never follow through on, whether it be the most powerful pre-workout you've ever seen or the most whatever. They make promises, and you have to understand, when you say something like that, the industry is huge. Like, we share news on about 1,000 brands, and that's maybe I wouldn't even say it's probably a fraction of what's out there. So when you say something like the best tasting greens or even the best pre-workout, from our perspective, you got to be comparing yourself to 1,000 brands, if not more, let alone the industry, which has even more that we may not even stumbled across yet. So it's the bold statements like that are hard to make. However, in the case of Core Greens, I have to say they followed through on their promise to some extent, though. Now, Core Greens, we've said, and I'm happy to say, is the best tasting green supplement out there on the potent side of things. Just to clarify that, we mentioned in our review, which you can read on the site, that what I mean by that is we've had better tasting green supplements, but although they don't have as many or as highly dosed ingredients as Core Greens, that's not a knock either way. It's kind of like the pre-workout category. There are a lot of great tasting pre-workouts out there. A lot. There are some that I would even say are the best tasting. However, I probably wouldn't use them because they just pale in comparison to the effectiveness of my favorite ones like Performax, Hypermax, or even some of the Devastates. There's a long list of pre-workouts, but a lot of those top ones just don't compare to the taste of the lesser ones. I mean, it's very simple. They have a lot less ingredients to mask. It's a lot harder to flavor things that have just massive dosages. And that is obviously the case with a lot of categories. And that's why I'm saying Core Greens is the best tasting potent green supplement. I've probably had maybe a couple others that I would say are just much better. Not much better, maybe marginally better, but better in terms of taste. But they've got half the greens that Core packs into their one. But that aside, Core Greens taste amazing. We got both flavors, Berry Bliss and chocolate. Now, we didn't like the chocolate. That said, I have heard that other people really like it. I honestly cannot imagine people liking this. Like, we had it and we're just like, no, just flat out no. The berry is amazing. There's no aftertaste. There's no grittiness. It's just a sweet hit of berry flavor that just comes right out of the gate and just steadily stays as you swallow. The chocolate, I got that hit of chocolate at the start, but straight away I just tasted that kind of typical earthy greens signature tang, and I just was not okay or not happy with that one. But as mentioned, other people have said that they like it. My friend Lucas, he loves it. Clearly, obviously, everyone is different. Everyone has different taste buds. So I think that this is the best tasting potent green supplement we've had so far. There are a few others that I'm wanting to try, such as Super Greens from Matt Glaxon, which I think we're getting this week, and Ghost Greens that just launched last week. I believe we're getting some of that soon. But again, it's causes so far my favorite green supplement, potent green supplement in terms of taste. While I didn't like the chocolate, a lot of people have said they like it, so I have to imagine that if you're a fan of that flavor, you might be okay with it and you might enjoy it just as much as I enjoy the berry. But it's I was happy to see Core deliver on that. They've had a huge year so far with all the rebranding and massive announcements. They're in fact our top trending brand right now, which I should mention, we added a section to the website where if you go to the homepage, you'll see a box called Trending Brands. That is a new thing I just added over the weekend after finally figuring out the programming side of it. And what it is exactly is a section of 3 brands, may expand to 4 or 5, of brands that are just getting a lot of attention right now and doing a lot of exciting frequent releases. It is a section that will change, so brands may come and go depending on how the day went, depending on how the week went, and just be shuffled around. But the idea is it's a great section for new people or fans or regular fans or brands, distributors, retailers, pretty much everyone, to go and see some exciting brands. If you've already heard of them, it's probably not much going to it because you'll already know why they're in there. But it's a great way to introduce yourself to brands, and it's our way of showing and highlighting companies. We do share a lot of news and a lot of announcements on brands, so when we can figure out a way to highlight those doing things well and doing things exciting in our eyes, we do our best to do that. And that's what this trending section is. As I mentioned, go to the site now, stack.com. You just scroll down a few posts, it'll be tucked in there. As mentioned, it'll change from day to day depending on how exciting if any other brands of close to trending brands do something new. So it'll be ever changing. But again, it's a great way to see some of the most exciting brands, or even just find out what brands are getting the most attention from our viewers. So check that out on the site. Core is leading that one. Ghost is in there as well, and the Skinny Food Co., which we already mentioned. But Ghost is in there specifically because this past week they had a big announcement of their own. It kind of came out of nowhere. They didn't really tease it too much. They teased it the day before announcing it. But they've done another collab, another authentic partnership with a company that's not within the supplement or fitness industry. They've teamed up with Bubblicious, the classic bubblegum company, for a strawberry splash flavor of their pre-workout Ghost Legend. And the thing is it's tough when you see stuff like this because this deserves a lot of excitement and a lot of hype. Ghost has done a lot of these authentic releases to the point where they just keep delivering cool and fun flavor collaborations, and it's just fun to see. If this was their first, it would have made a huge amount of noise. But this one alone, I think, deserves just as much attention as their first. But this is, of course, I've lost count now. The company has teamed up with so many brands and outside fitness industry companies for flavor collaborations. It's been non-stop, and it's awesome to see them continue to do this. Even though other brands have done similar, Ghost has just been the one consistent company. I mean, you have BSN who did Cold Stone, but they've only done Cold Stone. They haven't teamed up with another company or anything like that. This has been something that Ghost has done throughout. They did Welch's, they did Warheads was their first one, obviously. They've teamed up with Welch's for a grape flavor. They teamed up with Sonic for their cherry lemonade. They did Chips Ahoy, of course, which was easily one of the biggest product launches or at least one of the biggest launches in terms of attention last year. And now they're gone with Bubblicious, so it's just really exciting and cool to see them continue to bring this different flavor and this, I guess, the spark to the industry. And like I said, it's just really cool to see. You can check it out on the site. As per usual, Ghost has done a sweet, super awesome label design for this one with a nice Bubblicious bubblegum kind of theme to it, with a nice bit of pink and splashes in the background. It's due to be available soon, and it will of course feature the same formula as the regular Ghost Legend. And yeah, check it out. Bubblicious Strawberry Splash is the flavor. Now, next up, we are going to be talking about the energy drink side of things, which is definitely a category that's just blowing up almost. We've got people following us now that are just fans of energy drinks. And the company in the spotlight this past week is none other than Reign, which, again, if you've been following Stacked, you'll know that Reign is easily one of my favorite, one of our top-rated energy drinks on the market. Since trying their original 6, it was just blown away how good they taste. I didn't know what to expect when I first tried them, but the sweetness, the flavor, the fullness, it's just all really good. Even flavors that I didn't think I liked. The brand has added multiple new flavors since that original 6, and they've also been pretty damn amazing. But this past week, the news got out of yet another new flavor for the Reign lineup, and it is quite a different flavor, I might add. While they haven't stuck to kind of traditional tastes, the flavors they've done up until now were still very familiar. With the cotton candy, peach fizz, they were all very familiar flavors that we had at least seen or experienced. Reign has announced, or not just revealed this past week, that they're doing a lychee flavor. Now, lychee is not a fruit that I had even experienced up until I went looking for it. It's not a common banana, strawberry, or anything like that, but we actually got to experience, or at least find out about this, several years ago when the gaming brand G Fuel introduced the mystery flavor, and someone mentioned to us that it tastes like lychee, and I was like, what the fuck is that? So of course we went out and we had to go and buy some, and I was like, shit, this is definitely lychee. And I learned that I don't mind the taste of lychee. It's pretty damn good. It's a sweet, very ripe flavored, and they delivered on the flavor. G Fuel delivered on that flavor, and now it looks like Reign's going to tackle it with their original Total Body Fuel energy drink. We don't know when this is going to be available, just that it is coming. You can see the picture of the product on our website. But yeah, it looks like they're going to be doing something quite different. As mentioned, even though their other flavors aren't exactly typical, they've stayed within the realm, I guess, of not something we'd seen before. But this lychee, I have never experienced a carbonated beverage, let alone an energy drink that's lychee flavored. So I'm very interested to try this, but I can only imagine Reign's going to nail it. I haven't tried a Reign flavor I didn't like, and I've tried them all, so I'm pretty hyped for this one. For the next story, we're gonna stay within the energy drink market. And this is not something we usually mention on the show, but I just thought this was something you had to jump on. And it's actually a deal from Cellucor, and we stumbled across this. Someone sent it to us, sent a link, and this, you get $20 off your first order on Cellucor's website, so long as the order's over $30. And I was like, that's so if the product's $31, it's now $11. And sure as shit, I went to the site, tested it out. That's exactly what the damn deal is. And so we shared it on the site. We don't usually share deals, but this one was just, like I said, too good to miss. It dropped things like C4 Ultimate, which is Cellucor's more advanced, not its top range pre-workout, but its more advanced pre-workout. And yeah, it dropped C4 Ultimate down from $39.99 to just $19.99, which is just, as mentioned, a crazy good deal. Other offers includes, it takes the rather expensive C4 Dynasty down from $70 to $50. It takes a case of the C4 Ultimate carbonated beverage from $34.99 down just to $15. And if you actually get in to the Cellucor website and you grab one of their, they have these bulk cases, which is basically 4 flavors, sorry, not 4 cases, 4 cases of either the original C4 carbonated or C4 Smart Energy drink. Those are already discounted, and this $20 off $30 order or drops the already discounted bundles down even further. So it does apply to stuff that's already discounted. And in the case of those 4 case carbonated and Smart Energy bundles that come with 48 cans, drops those down to $1.33 each. So this coupon, I mean, obviously the less you the less you order, and the closer you get to that $30, the better the deal is going to appear. But it's just a great deal, nonetheless. And we don't get anything from it. This isn't like an affiliate or anything. We don't really do those at all. It's just a great deal, and definitely jump on it. We already shared it because the company also launched last week their smaller 12-ounce size of the Smart Energy drink, and you can obviously use the $20 off $30 order for that. So it's definitely a great deal, especially if you're an energy drink fan, particularly of C4. But the last 2 stories we have for you put us back into the sports nutrition world with Spitfire Labs being the first one we got to round out the show. And so if you haven't heard of Spitfire Labs, we've been sharing them for less than a year. They kind of popped up around mid last year. It's a very unique, very interesting brand. We haven't really seen them on social media. They're exclusively available at A1 Supplements, and they do some pretty good stuff. But one of the more interesting parts is not only do they do some pretty reliable formulas with some solid ingredients, but they do the products, all of them, at an ongoing buy one get one free. And the products are not priced that badly at their regular price. And so, for example, they have a high stim pre-workout called Hellstim, and the regular price on that is $32.99. But after that buy one get one free, it drops it down to $16.50. So it's a really, really well priced brand. And as mentioned, those buy one get one frees aren't limited; they just ongoing, so they don't stop. So the company is very interesting. But this past week, they entered a category that we had. I guess it was only a matter of time before they entered. Over the past almost 1 year, they've entered weight loss, pump, focus, pre-workout, and then a high stim pre-workout. And this past week, they finally jumped into the amino category with a product called Dead. And while their other formulas have kept things pretty complex, specifically the pre-workouts, Dead is a relatively straightforward amino. You get almost 6 grams of EAAs per serving at 5.95 grams per serve. And then there's electrolytes for hydration and black pepper in there to help with absorption of everything. So it's a very simple, straightforward formula. But again, the highlight of this one is that the product is a regular price of $39.99 or $40. But as with the other Spitfire Labs supplements, it has a buy one get one free that's just ongoing. So that price isn't per tub; it's 2 tubs for $40, so it's $20 each. And so again, very interesting to see that strategy. I remember when we first saw them, we were like, "This is really cool. The brand's doing a buy one get one free." Well, you do see that a fair amount in the industry. You don't see it that often to not be excited about it, but then they just never stopped. And then we found out that they're ongoing, so it's pretty damn cool. You can read more about that one on the site. But to round out the show, we have news from one of my favorite sports nutrition brands out there, and that is Performax Labs. They're the leader of the pre-workout category for us with their Hypermatch Extreme, which has been our top-rated pre-workout for, I'm just going to say, a long time. I can't remember when we first tried that one. Might even be 2 years ago. And they also have a top-rated Focus supplement with Nutramax. I also think we have their Fat Burner in our top list as well. So it's a very reliably effective company who makes just great supplements. But this past week, they kind of dropped a bunch of announcements, which was cool because we hadn't heard from them in quite some time. But the lead announcement was that the company is coming out with an immune supplement, much like everyone else. But it's not necessarily more, but just a comprehensive immune formula. Again, a category we've seen a lot of this past couple months. But that wasn't really all Performax had to announce. It also confirmed it's working on a flavored version of Nutramax, which, as mentioned, is one of our top-rated focus supplements. And then Performax Labs also said that it's got a joint supplement in the works. So while it is entering a category we have seen a lot of brands enter, that's far from all it's working on. We don't quite know when all of those products are going to come about, but it should make for an exciting couple of months coming. We haven't heard much from Performax from the past little bit, so it's good to see they're still working hard and keeping the innovation and creativity coming. Thank you for tuning in for this episode. That is it for today. I hope you tune in again next week. We'll no doubt have another wrap up and summary of announcements and many news. But as always, stay tuned and keep up with everything at stack.com. And that is, of course, stacked with a 3.